Good evening. A waste management firm has been fined £3 million after a worker was crushed to death under a skip in Devon. Mark Wheatley, who lived in Teenbridge, was in his second week working at the Dartmoor National Park Conservation Works depot when he died in January 2020. Well, Richard Lawrence is there for us this evening. Richard, what more do we know?
Well, as you say, this incident happened 3 years ago at this site when Mark Wheatley was working for Viridor Waste Management. At that particular time, he was involved in an operation to move some of the skips around, and he was lifting 2 skips onto a lorry, a practice known as hot swapping, but the skips were not compatible and one fell. And when he went up onto the lorry to try to rectify the situation, sadly, he became trapped underneath one of the actual skips. Now, his mother gave evidence at the court hearing in Loughborough Magistrates because she'd been called to the scene, and she describes how she was held back by the emergency services and felt that she had been kept underneath, and felt that she would be haunted forever by the image of seeing him trapped underneath. The Health and Safety Executive had issued the fine to Valencia Waste Management, who took over from Viridor Waste, the £2 million for this incident here, and sadly £1 million for another incident elsewhere in the country. The Health and Safety Executive's chief enforcement lawyer described how the situation needs to be improved with more effort to improve safety for work at recycling facilities.
OK, Richard Lawrence in Bovey Tracy, thank you. Next tonight, figures show the absence rates for school pupils in Plymouth have nearly doubled on pre-pandemic levels. The council is now pushing to improve the situation, saying it's vital students regularly attend school. Well, Sam Blackledge has been to one school to find out how they are tackling the issue.
Back to class for the start of yet another school year. Smart new haircuts, freshly ironed uniforms, fully stocked pencil cases. But the biggest challenge for teachers and parents is ensuring everyone turns up when they should do.
How important do you think it is to attend school all the time or most of the time?
It is really important because if you don't, you could lack something that you might need in like a future job you would really like to do. I always wake up and I feel like I don't want to go to school, but once I get here I'm like really energetic and really excited to come.
If you don't get to see your friends, you just might not tell anyone and just be a bit alone about your feelings.
And when everyone had to stay at home, when the lockdowns were on, how did you find that? Was it quite difficult?
Yes, because I felt like I was just missing something in my life.
New government figures show Plymouth's absence rate has jumped from 5% in pre-COVID times to more than 8%, a trend which is reflected across the region and the whole country.
You know, it's so much more than just being in those classrooms and just gaining qualifications, but the more that the children are here, the greater opportunities they have, and therefore they enrich themselves and give them a better opportunity to go on to secure really strong outcomes.
Plymouth City Council is launching a new campaign hoping to boost those attendance figures for the year ahead.
Do you think maybe parents and children's attitudes to school has changed since the pandemic and we need to maybe get things back on track?
Yes, I think so. I think there's been probably a lot more anxiety and concern and worries, and we need to try and see what we can do positively to overcome those issues and those problems, because we know that good school attendance is absolutely vital in terms of children reaching and young people reaching their potential. And it isn't just about the academic things, it's also about all the importance of the social things that go on in school, about being with friends and being part of that school community, and that's really important for success in later life.
We've all had days when the last thing we want to do is sit in an office or a classroom, especially when the sun is shining outside. But the message here is if you show up for a full day's learning, then home time will feel that much sweeter. Sam Blackledge, ITV News, Plymstock School.
Royal Navy history has been made off the Cornish coast, with a drone carrying supplies flying itself onto a Royal Navy aircraft carrier for the very first time. The technology means the aircraft is told where the ship is and makes its own way there. Graham Lewis reports.
Final checks ready for its flight to an aircraft carrier just off the Lizard Peninsula. This drone, or pilotless plane, has been developed by Herman Mourinho and his colleagues at W Autonomous Systems. There's no controller or pilot, though. It's told where the ship is and makes its own way there.
It's a moving platform. It's not just as practicing here in a fixed runway. And it requires skills. It requires lots of sensors, lots of engineering behind it. But we have done lots of testing before that. We believe that we have the system ready for it.
This former World War II RAF base at Predannock is now used by the Royal Navy for testing drone technology like this.
Very exciting, yeah. This has been in development for quite a long time, and this particular trial has been on the cards for a significant amount of time now as we're trying to make it work. So to see it all coming together on a brilliant day down here in Cornwall is amazing.
Then came the moment the team had been waiting for. Take off from Predannock and out to sea. The drone has a range of more than 600 miles and can carry around 100 kilograms of supplies. And after a 20-minute flight, that first ever touchdown on HMS Prince of Wales.
It's part of an ongoing project that we've got within the Future of Maritime Aviation Force that we're looking at for the next 20 to 30 years of how the Royal Navy and the Fleet Air Arm are going to progress. This particular system is looking at conducting resupply at sea, allowing us to free up crewed capabilities to do their core job and use a more efficient, ultimately cheaper system to bring the supplies to and from the carrier when she's at sea.
This was a first for the Royal Navy, but it won't be the last. In the near future, this type of technology will be used to deliver supplies, including spare parts and even mail, without the need to launch helicopters. Graham Lewis, ITV News, Predannock.
Salutes have rung out at midday to mark the accession of King Charles III. This was the 21-gun salute at HMS Drake in Devonport. It's 1 year since Queen Elizabeth II passed away and her son became monarch.
I joined this job 3 days before, unfortunately, the Queen died last year, so it was straight into the gun salute for Her Majesty, and obviously then straight after this one, so it's proud to be part of this.
Turning to sport now, and Exeter City Supporters Trust will be commemorating 20 years in charge of the football club tomorrow. The Grecians will host Leyton Orient in League One, looking to cement their place at the top of the table. There's no match for Plymouth Argyle due to the international break. Meanwhile, Cornish Pirates have been busy preparing for their Premiership Rugby Cup match against Bath. The team, who have undergone some changes in personnel during the off-season, are looking forward to testing themselves this evening.
Got a relatively new group, so yeah, we're just trying to find out where we are as a squad, and no better team to play than someone from the Premiership, so we're looking forward to that occasion on Friday night. But to have Bath here, they haven't been here since I've been playing. It's been quite a while, so great occasion for us, and Bath are on the incline as well, so big test for us.
Now, some of the UK's top scientists and speakers are in Exeter this week for the British Science Festival. Free events are happening at the university and in the city centre. Bob Cruz went along to explore what's on offer.
It's Europe's longest-standing science festival, running since 1831, and this year it's come to Exeter. Among the demonstrations in the university's Forum building, a simulator which shows how the autonomous cars of the future might have robotic moving parts in the seat to attract the attention of the driver when there's danger ahead.
OK, I'm feeling the seat moving again, so that's telling me that I've got to do something. And there's a car in front of me, so I'm going to slow down.
That's the novelty we are introducing. That's where we are going beyond the existing visual and audio feedbacks that you see in highly automated vehicle. So we wanted to make use of sense of touch, and we know haptic feedback from research and past knowledge. We know that haptic feedback is very effective in communicating information to humans.
The British Science Festival goes to a different city every year, and last came to Exeter in 2004.
We've got loads of great local research going on. Lots of the researchers here from the University of Exeter, but also researchers from across the world that work with people here in Exeter as well. So it's a really great way to showcase what's happening here, but also how that connects globally.
Virtual reality systems like this have lots of uses. This programme being demonstrated is for Royal Navy training. But they have a unique facility here at the university where they've been helping Parkinson's patients to deal with the effects of their disease.
We've seen some positive results from this. The results will be published shortly with Parkinson's UK, and hopefully we'll move this out to be a gold standard to interventions for people with Parkinson's.
There's a programme of free events for the public running right through the weekend, talks, workshops, drop-in events both here at the university and across the city. Bob Cruz, ITV News, Exeter.
Now, a rare blue lobster has been found in Plymouth Sound. A group of divers were out looking for a shipwreck around Drake's Island when a fisherman handed them the creature. Lobsters are usually dark brown or grey in colour. According to experts, a blue lobster is believed to be as rare as 1 in 2 million.
Because she was so big, she's 50 years old. She felt a little bit prehistoric. And because she was so beautiful and it was a really sunny day, which you can see from the pictures, she comes across extremely bright blue.
Right, it's time to take a look at the weather for the region now. Charlie has your weekend forecast.
Whatever the weather, it always feels like home. Valent Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV West Country Weather.
Hello. Now this weekend we are going to see some changes in our weather, albeit quite gradual. Still a good deal of sunshine, still some high temperatures, but just a risk of thunderstorms cropping up, very isolated ones, because we're losing the high pressure we've had for most of the week, and in time a little collection of fronts starts to run up the western side of the UK, and it's those that provide the focus for the beginnings of a change away from this early September heat. As for the rest of tonight, it's quite a bit of low cloud around, still some coastal mist and 1 or 2 isolated, potentially heavy showers running up from the south. And most of us will probably miss those, and it's going to leave us with another uncomfortably warm night ahead with lows of 16 or 17 Celsius. So a bit of a great start for some of us on Saturday, but I think we'll see a lot of sunshine developing. I think some of that coastal mist will just try and burn away a little bit as well. So on the whole, a fairly fine start to the weekend, just isolated heavy showers cropping up as we head through the afternoon, but hardly any rain at all. Temperatures up to 28 Celsius once again. High tide tomorrow, Portland, about 10:30 in the morning, and again 2 in the afternoon. And there might be some early showers on Sunday, but for most, an okay end to the weekend, but a lot cooler and a lot more showery into next week.
Valent Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV West Country Weather.
Thanks very much, Charlie. Just before we go, a tiny home with undisturbed views of Plymouth Sound has gone up for auction. Rock Cottage is a 1-bedroom property, and those interested will have the chance to bid for it next week. We'll be taking a look inside on our programme on Monday, but in the meantime, everything you need to know is over on our website. For now, that's it from me. I'll be back with the late news just after 11 o'clock, and after the break, the ITV News continues with Charlene White. But from all of us here, goodbye for now.